Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, you are warmly welcome. My name is Erica and thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you visiting my channel. And to my old subscribers, thank you so much for your love and support always. I really appreciate it. And just by the title of today's video, we are making delicious shito or delicious black chili sauce. And this recipe is very simple but very delicious. And so shito is one of our common sauces that you will find in Ghana especially. You can enjoy your shito with wache, with kinke, with fried rice, and literally every dish you can think of. And so thank you so much for holding on till now. I hope you watched this video till the end so that you would know how this shito turned out. But before the video starts or before we start making our shito, can you please take a moment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet, as this encourages me to create more content and it also helps grow my channel. And so thank you so much for doing that for me. I really appreciate it. And so without further talking, let's get right into it. So here I have some onions that I'm chopping up to blend. So I have 3 big ones and then 2 medium ones, and so I am cutting everything up roughly, and all ingredients will be listed in the description section as usual, so please do check that out. And so once all my onions are chopped up, I will add them to my blender, and then I will add in my ginger. So shito, you would need enough ginger, so please feel free to use your ginger. And then instead of using water to blend your ingredients, you would use your oil, and here I am using vegetable oil. And so you wouldn't want to use water, because if you use water, it will take you a very long time for your shito to cook and to be dry, and so you would want to use your vegetable oil, which will make the process very easier for you. And then once I have blended it up, I will add in my spices, which are grains of selim, which is hwentia. I have African calabash nutmeg, which is hwedeaba. I have coriander seeds. I have star anise seeds, aniseeds, cloves, and black peppercorns, which I've added all into the blender, and then I will blend until it is smooth. Like I said, all ingredients are listed in the description section, and so I will blend that. If your ingredients are too much, you can divide them and then blend half and half. Yes, you can. You don't have to put everything in the blender, as it will be too much for the blender to blend. So once I have been able to blend everything nicely to this consistency, I would put everything in a pan. I would turn on my stove. You can use medium to high heat, and then I will stir everything in nicely. I will then cover and let it cook. Please pardon my lid for my pan. This frying pan is too big, it doesn't have a lid, so I have to improvise. And yeah, I managed with that. And so once my shito has been cooking for about 30 minutes, I do check on it, because you cannot leave it on, it will burn. So I'm checking back on it, and this is how it looks. It is advisable that you use a non-stick pan if you have one, which will make the process easier, because it will not let the shito burn. And so I am stirring it in nicely, and yeah, it looks good. It's frying in very nicely, and then I would let it continue to cook. So after frying it for about 45 minutes, I will then add in some smoked shredded tuna. So I baked the tuna myself and I shredded it up this way. I'm adding it up early because I want it to also dry. It has a little bit of moisture in it, and so I want it to cook really dry. And so at this point I am adding it here. I will stir everything in nicely. I will cover again and let it continue cooking. So after frying for approximately an hour, this is how it looks. It looks good. Yeah, it looks very good. And so I will keep stirring and making sure that it is not burning, and it looks good. We are getting there. And so at this point I will add in my stock cube. I'm using shrimp stock cube. I use 2 of that, and so I will add that. I will stir everything in, and then I will cover and let it continue to cook. So I have been frying my shito for a total of about 1 hour 15 minutes, and this is how it looks. As you can see, the oil is starting to separate, and so yeah, it's looking good. This is how it looks. It looks beautiful, and at this point I don't feel there is any moisture in it, and so I'm adding in my dry ingredients. And so first I'm starting off with my chili pepper. I have 1 cup of ground chili pepper. I will also add in about 1/4 cup of chili flakes, and then I will stir everything in nicely. So once everything is mixed in nicely, I will then cover and continue frying my shito. And so after I added the chili flakes, I let it fry for about 10 minutes, and this is how it looks. It looks good, and my kitchen is smelling very good as well. And so at this point I am adding in my shrimps powder. I will also add in my herrings powder. I have 2 cups of each, and so I am adding that in as well, and then I will stir everything in nicely. So after I've mixed in everything in nicely, I will then add in my crayfish, which is those small shrimps. And so yeah, I'll add in crayfish, and then I would mix that in nicely as well. And so once that is mixed in nicely, I will then add in some salt to taste. So I tasted for salt, and yes, I needed to add a little bit of salt to it. And usually, because of the stock cube, you would want to taste the salt before you add additional one. And so after I have mixed in that nicely, this is how it looks. It looks very beautiful. It looks appetizing. And so for shito, you can feel free to add oil if you feel that it is too dry, but sometimes when you keep them in your containers, all the oil do settle on top of it, which is good because it serves as a preservative for your shito. And so please feel free to add extra oil if you have to. And so this is how it looks. I would say I have cooked this shito for a total of an hour 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and it looks good. This is how it is. I tasted it. It tastes good. I can feel all the spices in very nicely, and so at this point I would be frying it for additional 5 minutes, and the shito is done. So please be patient with your shito. Fry it until you don't feel any moisture in it, so that your shito will last long without going bad. And so at this point I will switch off my fire and allow my shito to completely cool down before transferring them into my storage containers. Hello family. So our shito is done. It is ready. Just look at how beautiful it looks. I hope you give this recipe a try. Just give it a try and feel it for yourself. Taste it. Come back and thank me later. Thank you so much for sticking with me till this point. So I waited until my shito completely cooled down, and then I transferred them into these bottles or mason jars. If you have like bottles, usually what I do is if I buy a product and I like the container, I just keep it just to reuse it. And these are one of the ways that I reuse my store-bought containers. And so I keep my shito in it. When you put it in your refrigerator, it can stay there for months without going bad. And if your shito tends to go bad, that means that it has moisture in it and it was not dried. So you have to really take your time and fry it until there's no moisture so that it can really last for you. And so thank you so much for sticking with me. Just give your girl a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Comment, share this to someone who might also benefit from it. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. And I will answer. I will be reading all your comments, so I will definitely answer all your questions. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next one shortly. Bye for now.